The spiritual baths. They're a frontline resource for anybody's spiritual toolkit. Whether you're plain spiritual, whether you're dabbling in magic, or whether you just need something to give you a bit of peace of mind when you're feeling a little out of whack or want to gain something, spiritual baths are your friends. Spiritual baths recognize and take advantage of plants' spiritual and energetic properties. And this is based on the premise that everything has its own energy and its own vibrations and its own consciousness, because we are all part of the one great consciousness. And plants are allies in that respect. Some of them are here to nourish us, some of them are harmful to us. They have their own consciousness and intentions, and their properties, just like crystals would, for instance. Over the centuries and the millennia, highly sensitive people have intuited that certain plants carry their own set of characteristics, and that can be harnessed for advancing certain purposes. You can have banishing baths, you can have cleansing baths, you can have attraction baths. And the ingredients and the process for each bath is going to be different depending on what your final intention is. And so for today, I'm going to talk about banishing baths. Banishing baths are a first line of defense for anybody who's feeling a little off spiritually, who thinks there might be some negative energies attached to them or lingering around, or just things are not going well or as expected. You're just not yourself and you're not quite sure why. One of those reasons could be that you need to banish some spiritual parasite, entities, curses, whatever is lingering out there in the spiritual world. Just like you can catch a cold, you can catch a spiritual parasite or something a little bit more hefty. But either way, there are tools to protect yourself. And this is something that I wish I had known when I was a little kid and mortified of the things that went bump in the dark. So this video is going to equip you with everything that you need to have your own spiritual baths and to cleanse yourself, rid yourself of anything that doesn't feel great, and have a way to solve that particular spiritual problem. And then, if there's enough interest, we'll dive into cleansing baths and attraction baths for things like money, wealth, the enhancement of your clairsenses, whatever it is you need, there's a bath for it. I'll start off with the basic procedure, and then I'll start talking about the plants that you might use. Basic procedure, you collect the plants that are either available to you or that you require for your own purposes for your spiritual bath, and that will give you the desired outcome. You can check out books of correspondences, Google it. There's a whole bunch of things and resources to help you identify which plants you want, but I've got a little list of common ones up here. Once you've identified the plants that you're going to need, you're basically going to create a giant pot of tea. You'll throw in your herbs and your plants, you'll intuit the quantities that are right for you, and you'll add more of the things that you think are particularly important or that you want to emphasize in your bath, and then you can sprinkle in a couple of things that you think might be good allies but are not necessarily going to be the stars of the show. As you select the plants that you're going to put into your pot, I want you to take a moment and feel into them. Feel their resonance and determine whether or not they feel right for you and for your purposes. You might feel a little frisson, some goosebumps, a lightening of your heart. You might feel a bit of expansion or any kind of sign that you think is really going to speak to you in that particular point in time. Take that as a clue that this is probably the plant that you're going to want. Once you take your plant, I want you to create your own incantation. It doesn't have to rhyme, it really doesn't. But if rhymes work for you, you do you. And what you're going to do is you're going to focus in on the plant's energy. If you know of a corresponding deity or spirit that is associated to that plant, like for instance in my video on mugwort, we talked about how mugwort is associated to the goddess Artemis. Feel free to invoke them or to sense them. Ask for their assistance, ask for the plant's assistance in the specific task at hand. And so it's very important to be specific with your plants because, as you'll see from any book of correspondence, a plant can have a variety of uses, and many plants will have overlapping uses. And so unless you direct the plant with your intention, you may not exactly know what to do. I mean, it'll do a general run-of-the-mill kind of bath for you, but if you infuse it with your intention, if you ask for its assistance for a specific purpose, that is when your results are really going to increase and amplify. And so do this for every single plant that you put into your pot. Fill it with water, watch that water as it pours in, and intend for that cleansing water to infuse into everything. And again, ask for its support and to banish and to get rid of anything on your body, on your energetic field, in your aura that is no longer serving you, or that is hitching a ride and causing you harm and that you don't want to keep anymore. Send them on their merry way. So you will take this pot, you will boil it at a rolling boil for about 20 minutes until you have steeped all of the goodness out of the plant material and into the broth or the tea, which you will then cool off, set it aside for a little bit, and prepare yourself for your spiritual bath. When it comes to banishing, spiritual bath is a bit of a misnomer. You don't actually want to bathe in it. And I'll tell you about that in a second. You want to take a shower with it. You want all of the you want to clear off any negative energies off of your body and to have them flow off of your skin, be carried in the bath into the tea and out into the drain and gone. You don't want that lingering around. So if you're taking a bath with it, and you're basically steeping in all of that, marinating into more of that energy, and I just don't recommend it. And certain traditions will tell you that you don't want to put this on your head either, because it is going to strip away so much of what's in your field and possibly some of your gifts and blessings. I'm not of that view. I think that if you use the right intention when you are applying your bath and you ask the banishing energies in that liquid to protect you, to maintain any of your gifts and any of your charms, then it is my firm belief and conviction and feeling that, and those will not be cast aside. So do what feels right to you. Just know that there are some traditions in which it is not recommended that you pour the liquid over your head. Okay. Once you are done taking your bath, it's very important that you may not like this, but it's very important that you scrub that shower, the walls, the floors, glass doors, or put the curtains in the washing machine. You're going to want to make sure that that is spick and span, and you use either a cleansing liquid or something like bleach to get rid of everything, and again, rinse it all out with water. And whatever you use for those, whatever brushes and sponges that you use for that cleaning purpose, I would keep in an outside space away from the inside of your home, and keep it away. Use it for that specific purpose only. And once in a while, if you can, try to cleanse it, because you don't want to hang on to anything. Now, having removed any parasitic leeches, vampires, or whatever from your auric field, it creates a bit of a vacuum. If there were holes in your aura that they came to fill in, then you're going to want to protect yourself. So as you're pouring the bath over you, you're going to want to imagine it stripping away all of the entities, all of the negative energies, all of the curses, all of the things that you don't want there, detaching and flowing down the drain, and thanking the plant medicine for its assistance and any guides or spirits that you're working with in order to fulfill this banishing ritual. Once you've scrubbed away your shower and you feel that the space is cleared, again, use your intuition, use your inner sight, your feelings. You're going to want to patch any holes in your aura in which these parasites were attached. So nature abhors a vacuum, and so unless you patch that aura or beef it up, something else might come along. So you're going to want to raise your vibration. You're going to want to think happy thoughts. You're going to want to focus on love, which is the highest frequency. And by love, I mean truly feeling it in your bones, feeling gratitude, feeling fulfillment, all of those feelings that are not so common in our day-to-day life. Go seek them in your soul and bask in them for a few minutes. As you raise your vibration, you're going to want to visualize your aura. Usually has, the rainbow colors, and it's surrounding you. And that energetic aura is a protection field. And I want you to imagine every single color, starting from red to orange to yellow to green to blue to purple and to indigo, being filled and expanded and healed, and so that you can have a strong auric field again, so that you can have your raised protections. And finally, you're going to want to top it off with something like Florida water, or a perfume is particularly meaningful to you that helps you feel good and that really lifts your spirits. Or you can, make something yourself. Take take a little spray bottle, put in a couple of drops of your favorite essential oils, look at correspondences for those that speak to you. If you want a recipe, message me down below. We can make one in the next video. But you'll want to seal the whole ritual by adding additional protections from plants, and you'll want to intend that as you spray yourself. And so what does a spiritual bath look like when it's done? Well, I created one just a few days ago. I've saved a little bit over here. And the reason why I created my spiritual bath is because I've had a life change recently. I've decided to take a sabbatical from work so that I can focus on my family and on my children and on my spiritual path. And as excited as I was to take the sabbatical, once it began, I started to feel a little out of sorts, not quite myself. Of course, the transition and the change of routine is going to be a factor in why I wasn't feeling like myself so much. But at the same time, when you're not feeling so well, you can also attract lower vibration beings to linger around you. And so I needed a little bit of help clearing whatever was not serving me at that point in time, and so that I can open myself up to be more spiritually connected, because I had been feeling very blocked. My third eye and my spiritual team couldn't hear them very well. I was preoccupied with what was happening in the changes in my life. And so over the next few months, I'll be spending more time with my children. And that is my plan for the summertime, so that I can help them, be a better mom to them, feed them healthier foods, and just watch them grow into the wonderful people that they are. And also spend a little bit of time with my family back home, who I don't get to see as often as I would like. And for the fall, I have more spiritual plans ahead of myself. I will lean in much more fully into my spiritual entrepreneurship. As you know, I'm a Reiki master and yoga practitioner, and I really want to spend a lot more time in silence, in stillness, and in meditative movement, reconnecting with my spirit and who I am on the inside. And part of those plans will include expanding my offerings online, but also taking a spiritual pilgrimage. And I am planning on walking the Camino de Santiago in Spain. It is a spiritual Christian pilgrimage. I haven't exactly decided on which path I will take, probably the last 100 kilometers, so 60 miles, a 5 or 6 day walk at a very gentle pace from Sarria, Spain to Compostela. And the reason for that is I'm really searching for silence, solitude, for contemplation, and a summer with my kids, while it is incredibly rewarding, is anything but silent. And so I have snuck off. I found a few minutes to film my video, but it's going to be a little challenging for me to be able to produce videos regularly over the course of this summer. So bear with me if you don't see me as often, but I will do my best. As always, if you have any questions, if you would like to see something in an upcoming video, if you just want to say, hey, comment down below. I'm really looking forward to building a community of like-minded people, curious people, people who are just interested in exploring the weird and the wonderful with me. And so looking forward to being YouTube friends. Like, comment, subscribe, all of these things really help a little channel like mine grow, and it allows me to feel more connected while I'm on my sabbatical and at home with my 2 wonderful kids and not as many grown-ups as I would like. Okay, my wonderful people, thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed myself having this conversation with you. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.